Hello everyone, welcome. I am excited to be sharing this scrapbook layout with you today. As you can see, I'm creating a double page, and this is a special video because once a month my friends at the creative design team and I collaborate. We pick a different topic every month and then everyone shares their approach on that topic. So this month we are focusing on documenting large photos. And as you can see, I've got a beautiful scenery photo here. I do have some supporting photos that will go on the right hand side of the page, and Andrea shared a double page layout yesterday. If you have not caught that already, it's just stunning. Definitely check it out. So this I printed at home myself. I was governed by the size of this paper here. This is 8.5 by 11, so I could not go any wider than 11 inches, which is fine because that gives me, a little bit of border around the edge for bringing in some pattern paper and color. And the photo itself is 11 inches by 6.25. I took this with my iPhone and I had the camera set to 9 by 16, so that kind of gives me this panoramic look, if you will. And I wanted to get it as big as I could at the 11 inches, and that's just the size it kind of came out being. Now here's a little tip for you. If you've been watching my channel for a while, you know I print at home with the Epson PictureMate 400. That printer's fabulous, but it only goes up to 5 by 7. So what I wanted to point out is for your 5 by 7s, you can buy pre-cut 5 by 7 paper, right? Well, if you buy this paper and cut it in half yourself and you'll have two 5 by 7s, it's much less expensive than buying the already 5 by 7 size. So on Amazon, prices fluctuate, but definitely keep that in mind if you are buying 5 by 7 paper. So these photos here, I'll tell you more about this gorgeous mountain lake in Alaska as we put this layout together. But there's my husband and I, my friend Bonnie, with the same view. And then this is the river we stayed. This is the view from our lodging. And you just drive along the river and then this lake is at the end. It's just incredible. So definitely a photo I wanted large. I am doing a little stash busting, and I'm using this paper pack from Close to My Heart. It's long retired and I bought several, so most of these are cut into. I do have a few, whole 12 by 12 pieces, but this is called Fresh Air, and this came with pocket cards, so I don't really have a lot of embellishments. What little embellishments I did have with this collection, I have long used up. So I'm going to be bringing in some stamps. I've got the textured timber stamp, and then, believe it or not, Flowers of Beauty. And I think this is going to be really pretty. You can see there's this like fireweed, which is all over Alaska. But one of the dies in here kind of looks like that. So I think that I'm going to be embellishing with these. And then I have my ferns, which just really look beautiful on pages like this. Off camera, I was already experimenting with what papers I want for this layout. There's so many choices with this paper pack, but you can see against that one, it's gorgeous. But if we add just a little bit of contrast with the brown to break up the colors in the photo from the colors in the paper, it does help the photo to really be the focal point. So I think we're going to go something like that. And I don't know what we're doing over here. This photo kind of, we don't have to go linear, but I feel like it's working quite well. So I'll probably just carry these layers all the way across. So what I'm thinking here, this is already cut. It's 2 inches by 12. So yeah, we'll just kind of have, let's see, we won't go 2 full inches up here, maybe 1.5 inches, and then we'll have the 2 on the bottom, and then we can put our title underneath here. I do like how that's going, so I'm going to go ahead and trim those down, and I will be right back. We stayed at the Chilkoot Haven Lodge along this river, and the morning we were leaving town, we decided, you know what, we better drive down this road and see the lake, and we're so glad we did. Wow, just breathtaking. Now, I have a couple zip strips here. These are the pattern or branding strips from the pattern paper, and that's kind of lost there. You know what, I like it better up top, and it brings a pop of that green to that area. So we could put this one here. I'm not sure. I'm going to wait on that for now and just go with these. I have all of those adhered down, and I'm going to go ahead and work on my title and cluster. So I've got this stamp here mounted to my block. This is the textured timber here, and I just love this. You know me and using circles on a layout. So this is linen cardstock. I'm going to use the light side. It's just a little different from white, as you can see there, and I thought, you know what, why not? I've got a bunch of scraps, so let's go ahead and use it because linen is a coordinating color in this collection. So we're going to ink this up, and I'm cutting these out. So I just want to, I don't know, let's create 3, right? I'm always going on about odd numbers. So 3 seems like a good place to start. And if I don't use them, I'll tuck them back in the envelope and use them on the next outdoor project I create. So these do not have a coordinating die, but they're so easy to fussy cut because there's no, you know, intricate little design edges or anything like that. So I'll go ahead and just cut one out for you real quick, and then I'll do the rest off camera so you don't have to watch the whole process. I'm sure you've heard this tip numerous times before, but the real key to fussy cutting is turning the paper, not your scissors. So watch me just rotate the paper to follow along. And if you want to skip right over that crack in the log, you can, or you can follow it just like I did to accentuate it. So we are just about done. I'm leaving a little white border because I think that looks nice, and there. Isn't that cute? So my idea is to cut a bunch of these little sprigs. Maybe I should just go ahead and do that. I'm going to take this die in here, and as I mentioned in the beginning, it reminds me of this the flowers in the picture. So I'm going to go ahead, let me grab some pink paper. These are just scraps of different kind of fuchsia, pinky tone cardstock scraps from Close to My Heart. You know what? That one matches perfectly. That like is the color of the flower. This is wild berry. It's not, and my friend's shirt is actually closer to rosy, but I think that's going to go well enough, and I want to play up the flowers. So yeah, let's go with wild berry, and I'm going to die cut some of these. I cut out the other 2 log rounds, and then I just started with 3 of these. I can always cut more if need be. So let me pull this back into frame, and my idea is to just kind of have these coming out so they're almost like a continuation of the landscape, and I think that that looks pretty darn cool. So let's actually tuck another one in here. I don't mind covering a little bit of this photo because, you know, there's really just nothing. Your focal point is here, right? It's in this section of the photo. So this is complementing rather than detracting. So these will probably just go over here. We'll worry about that later. Let's focus on the title. I found this stamp in my stash, and it's Hope and Kindness, and the word beautiful kind of caught my eye. I thought, you know what, that might work. In this particular album, I have a lot of layouts that say like the scenic view or loving this view or things of that nature. So I don't want the titles to get repetitive through this album. So I thought beautiful, that might just be enough. I stamped this on linen using Julep, and I like it, but I feel like it's a little bit subdued, kind of lost. So this one here is wild berry to match the flowers, and I do like that. I think that stands out beautifully. So we could just adhere these together so I didn't waste that other one and just give it a little bit more dimension anyway. Let's try that strip back in here now that we have our other, no, that wasn't it. Where is it? I like this zip strip because it has the glacier color and it's subtle, but it brings that color down from the top to the lower portion of the layout, and I think that looks nice. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my title layers together and get this embellishment cluster situated. And while I do that, I do want to let you know the Creative Design Team membership is now open. This week only, we are accepting new members. As a member, you will have unlimited access to our full video tutorial library, and you can also join into our monthly creative challenges. Every week we have a technique-based class complete with a printable handout and weekly tip videos. It's a great community, and I hope you join us. All of the information, including links on where to sign up, can be found in the description box below. But if you have any questions, just leave them in the comments, or you can reach out to me via email. I really hope to see you over there. Let's go ahead and get this zip strip adhered down. I'm just going to use a little bit of tape runner, and then we can start thinking about the second page over there. So my focus has all been on this one big gorgeous photo, and it's just It's fun. This would be a great like title page for a vacation album also. Just taking like a favorite highlight photo from the trip and using it as your opening page. Now I went ahead and cut the same layers just to carry this all the way across, making it super simple. Now this wood grain paper was part of the Fresh Air collection, but I do want to mention that Stampin' Up! Does have a beautiful collection of wood grain papers. It's called Country Woods, and I love it. I've already purchased several packs, but that one is a great one to, mix in with other paper collections, and I love using it on outdoor layouts. So I'm not sure I want to have that one up top. Maybe cut it in half. Let's just wait on that for now. To add a little interest, we can maybe bring in some pattern paper to map my focal photo on the right-hand side. I've got a couple different options, and I think I like the foliage better. And we also could just bring in a little pop. This is a scrap, but I'm just going to hold it up to see how that looks. And you know what? I think that might be fun. Just a tiny little border of that wild berry showing. I think this wild berry color is kind of fun and unexpected. I do a lot of outdoor type layouts, and obviously I love greens and browns and blues, but drawing the inspiration from that one little flower and my friend's shirt, I think it's just really adding a lot to the layout, although we're using it in tiny little doses. Now, this is a tip I've shared before. Take a shape like a tag or a decorative bracket and remove the portion from behind your photos. Now you have another embellishment, and you've just stretched your paper collection to go even further. You could also just gut out a rectangle, but I like to use the shapes because then, like I said, you have an instant embellishment. And I'll probably add that tag to the left-hand side, although I'm not sure yet. We'll have to wait and see what develops. I'll go ahead and ink this up though, so it matches the photo mat we just inked around the edges with espresso. I want to add a few of my little ferns here. I'm going to stamp these out in intense black so I can color them in. And I have this one and this one here from the Wild Fern stamp from Stampin' Up! So we'll just make several of these, and then we can tuck them in around our embellishment clusters so that our little pink sprig there isn't hanging out by its lonesome. You do want to give those a few moments to dry, and then I am using my Spectrum Noir marker in dull green, and I'm not doing any shading. This is a very tiny image, but I'm going to use the light to color in some and the dark to color in others, just to have some varied shades of green. And I'm going out of the lines in a few of these areas because it is so delicate, and it's okay. It's going to look just fine. Let's go ahead and use the dark green for this fern here. I'm going to color in just this one. I'll do the rest off camera, and then we can add them to the page. We all agreed that this was one of the most beautiful places we stayed while visiting Alaska. Just the view from our back porch, opening up and looking at this river and just listening to the river. And they have a hot tub, so we could sit in the hot tub and just overlook the river and watch the eagles fly around. It was just magical. So I have a whole nother layout that I'm dedicating to just the lodge itself, and it was very small. I think there was only like 5 rooms, but very peaceful, very beautiful. So I have all of these die cut out, and we can just add these to our little fireweed sprigs here. I think I want to kind of frame in this photo, so we'll go up the side just a bit, and oops, those are kind of tangled together there. And then I do want to add some to this area here. We need a third point of interest. So we'll bring that log in and then maybe add just a few ferns. I'm thinking of adding a sentiment up there, so I'm not sure what yet. I need to go through my stamp collection, but we'll add something. And then this little guy can maybe go over here. And then, let's see, we have one more. What if we just extend this further up the side of this photo? That looks nice. I'm happy with that. Now we have this tag that we cut from behind my photo, and I'm debating on making a cluster up here. I'm not sure if it needs it. We could just keep it nice and clean lines, but let's wait on that and work on my sentiment above the photo. So this is a stamp called Remember This Moment, and it's a collection of scrapbooking sentiments. I've got some die-cut little chipboard shapes here that are designed to go with this collection. Stampin' Up! Was carrying these, so if they are still available, I'll leave those listed in the description box below. And then of course we want to go with Wildberry, add just a hint more of that fun pink color. I chose a sentiment that says, remember this moment. Stopping at this lake was just a very brief pause, but definitely worth remembering. So let's go ahead and nestle this into our little cluster up top, and we'll layer some over, some behind. I'm still debating on this top section here. I cut a couple smaller tags and thought, well, maybe we could hang them from the top. Let's go ahead and ink up the edges there. I think it looks good open, and we don't need anything up there, but maybe we do. So let's just try it here. I went ahead and cut those flush, but now I'm wondering if we move them to the inside. And then let's put the dark one to the outside edge. I kind of like that. Now we have this diagonal draw, and it's in line with our triangular cluster formation. I added a tiny word that says relax, and then some of these natural adhesive back sequins. I wanted to go with the coppery tones, but it didn't look good with the Wildberry, so I opted for the white, and it adds just a nice little textural detail around each of the embellishment clusters. You can see I used an Avery clear shipping label to add my journaling above the photo on the right-hand side. I invite you to join us over in the Creative Design Team membership, and don't forget to tune in each day this week to see what the other ladies have in store for you and how they use large photos on their layouts. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time here on YouTube.